I thought a little celebration is in order. Commune. Excuse me, I am looking for some kittens. Mr. Honest Jones. Calumet, do not find one of your kittens. Honest Jones. Well, would you look at this? It is Honest John and Sutton Hawk. Yes, I am. Honest John, I sure never expected this. Well, you see, you have got to be the nicest man that ever lived. Well, you see, what have I? What? Who else but you would take in a poor old Indian woman who does not got no place to pitch her? Teepee? What? Is not I always said it? The man is a living saint. He is the salt of the earth. One of nature is nobleman. I do not know what to say. You do not need to worry, Honest John. You speak with deeds of kindness. I am going to. Of course, you are the greatest American I know. Please do not say that. It is not true. It sure is. That is a fact. If everybody was like you, there would not be no wars or riots. All God as children would love one another like they were meant to. Stop it, will you? We have not said half enough. Why, you must be the finest man that ever lived. Look, you want to know the kind of man I am? I am a confidence man. That is the truth. We got nothing but confidence in you. You do not know what you are saying. I do not, huh? When you are the only man that a 150-year-old Indian will trust. You are something special. All right, want to hear something? This woman is my wife. Did you hear that? This blessed man married this poor old hag to make her last days on earth happy. Listen to me. We work together. We are Confederate. Glory be, if all the people were like you, the South will rise again. Oh, God bless you, honeymooners. Granny, I think we had best get out of here before we all go to ball. Wait a minute. Here, take your 10 million back. Why? It is yours and hers. We do not want it. We do not need it. What is the matter? Was it something we said? It is everything you said. Here. Well, I am not taking it back. Well, I am not keeping it. Happy New Year. Well, if all that, let us go in the other teepee. Well, if that does not beat all. It is our own fault, Granny. We overpraised him. You just cannot do that to a modest man. Well, come on, everybody. Well, now it is time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You are all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is, set a spell. Take your shoes off. You all come back now. Here. This has been a Filmways presentation. In the high-reaching, sun-drenched hills of the Ozarks, there lived a man named Jed Clampett. He was a simple, sturdy mountaineer, a man who possessed nothing but a deep sense of honor and a rifle that had kept his family fed for generations. One bright and quiet morning, while Jed was out hunting for his supper, his feet crunched upon the rocky earth, and he aimed his weapon toward a patch of brush. But the earth beneath him had other plans. With a sudden, explosive gurgle, the ground erupted. It was not water that bubbled forth, but a thick, dark, and viscous liquid. It was oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. The discovery changed everything. Jed, with the gentle simplicity that defined his soul, decided to share the bounty with his kin. The family, a vibrant collection of mountain wisdom and youthful energy, loaded up their battered, rattling truck. With Granny, the iron-willed matriarch, presiding over the supplies, and young Ellie Mae, who possessed a heart as kind as the softest morning breeze, they departed their mountain home. They headed toward the place they heard was the Promised Land. California, that is. They arrived in Beverly Hills, where the swimming pools were vast and the movie stars walked the streets like common folk. Life in the big city was a whirlwind of marble floors and confusing customs, but the Clampetts navigated it with a grace that only the truly innocent can command. Yet, even among the grandeur, the family's roots remained anchored in the soil of their values. One afternoon, the quiet rhythm of their mansion was interrupted by the scurry of little feet. Elmer, a clever raccoon, was darting around the cabinets. Jed, ever the patient mentor, watched with a smile. "It is a handy little critter," Jed remarked to Jethro, his nephew, who was trying to help with the house cleaning. Jethro, a man of immense physical stature and an earnest, if often misguided, desire for intellectual greatness, was trying to make sense of the dusters. Jethro had been fixated on the news reports of the day, specifically the growing concern about the smog that blanketed the city. He felt in his bones that a man of his budding genius should contribute to the cause. "Uncle Jed," he announced, "I want to throw my brain into the fight against the smog. It is a dandy cause, and they say what it takes to whip it is brains and money." Jed nodded slowly, his eyes reflecting a deep and quiet wisdom. "Well, if it fixed us, we have it made, do we not? I reckon we have a leg up." At that moment, the telephone rang with the frantic energy that accompanied every call from Mr. Drysdale. Their banker, Mr. Drysdale, a man whose blood pressure seemed permanently tied to the fluctuation of the Clampett fortune, was coming over. He was worried, as he often was, about the $700,000 in cash that currently sat in the house. He had the hives from worrying about it, and he was determined to get it back into the safety of the bank vault. When Mr. Drysdale arrived, he was met with the unwavering resolve of the Clampetts. Granny, who had been listening to the reports on the air quality, had already decided where the money should go. "I am thinking about jumping into the fight against the smog, too," Granny declared. The promise to help fight the pollution was a matter of honor, and to a Clampett, a promise was as solid as the mountains themselves. Mr. Drysdale paced the floor, his face flushed with the kind of agitation only a banker can experience. "You do not understand," he pleaded. "That money belongs in the vault. It is not safe here." But Jethro, still convinced of his role as an inventor, had decided to convert his truck to a steam-powered engine. He was sure this was the solution to the city's air quality problems. He spent the day in the kitchen, trying to balance his culinary efforts with his mechanical theories. The house was a scene of controlled chaos, with Miss Jane Hathaway, Mr. Drysdale's devoted and often exasperated secretary, trying to maintain a modicum of order. Eventually, the pressure of the situation grew so intense that the family decided to take the matter to the highest authority in the land. "We are going to Washington," Granny decided, her voice firm and resolute. "If the President of the United States needs brains and money to whip the smog, then the Clampetts would be the ones to provide both." The journey was as grand as any the family had ever undertaken. They traveled with their eyes wide with wonder, observing the vastness of the country. When they finally arrived in Washington, the city seemed to them a place of immense importance and history. They were determined to meet the president, to present their contribution, and to offer their help with whatever chores might need doing. Upon their arrival, they were met by Honest John, a man who presented himself as a dedicated public servant committed to the cause of fighting environmental decay. He spoke with a smooth and persuasive tongue, promising to guide the Clampetts through the complex bureaucracy of the capital. He told them that they were to be commended for their patriotic spirit. He guided them to a hotel that offered a view of the entire city, a view that left Jed in silent contemplation of the beauty and the responsibility that lay ahead. The days that followed were a testament to the Clampetts' enduring spirit. They navigated the misunderstandings of city officials and the well-meaning but often confusing interventions of those who tried to direct them. Through it all, Jed remained the steady center, a man who believed in the inherent goodness of people and the power of simple, honest actions. He even ended up, through a series of complex and humorous misunderstandings involving an elderly Indian woman named Princess Sitting Hawk, believing he had purchased the White House and the Capitol building to gift them to